Alright, so I am home from vacation. I am behind on recording everything. I haven't even finished my book of the month ones. I haven't finished working up my June wrap up or my July author of the month. But I am going to, since I'm here, run into my Dollar Tree. This is a small Dollar Tree. It also looks super, super busy, so I'm probably not going to record in there. But I'm going to see if I can't find a book for July while I'm in here. I'm going to be honest, I'm having a really hard time switching to reading actual books. It's just more difficult to sit down and find time to read a paper book for me. And I've also got books going on my phone and paper books going, and switching back and forth is always difficult. So it's like 95 feels like 120, and I shut the car off so it was quiet. So I'm going to get out of here, and I will be back when I have picked a book, if I find one in here. Otherwise, I'll be back at the next one. Okay, so I am back outside. They had about 4 adults books in the entire store, and I got lucky that there was one that looked interesting to me. This is called The EXES Revenge by Jakeman, and the little thing at the bottom says there's only so much a woman can take. Looks like it's a thriller about a woman who has been done wrong by her husband and goes after him. I'm not sure in what way. It doesn't spoil it in the little blurb, but it looks actually really good, so I'm kind of excited to read this one. So I am going to get caught up on what I need to get caught up on and get through this one, and I will let you know what I thought. Hi guys, it's been a while. As you saw in my intro, it was like 100 degrees when I recorded that, when I shopped for this book. And in the month since, it has rained basically every day, and we had, I think, a temperature yesterday that was about 4 degrees higher than a record-setting low. So it's been a very, very strange summer. Anyways, much cooler when I'm recording this part of the video. So this was my Dollar Tree pick for the month, The EXES Revenge by Jakeman. This was her first book. And I'm going to say, I actually really enjoyed this. I read it fairly quickly. I probably should have recorded this video like 2 weeks ago. Hopefully enough of it's fresh in my mind to even review it. But I still have no idea what country this book is actually set in. Really don't know. My first indication that it was not here was the first time they used the word vicar, because, yeah. But I will say it was a very, very good book. The basic premise is Philip Rochester has recently set out to divorce his wife, Imogen, and he has a new girlfriend, Natalie, and he has an ex-wife before Imogen named Ruby. And the very first chapter is, I'm going to go to make sure I get the right, it is the day of Philip's funeral. So this sets the tone of the women's relationship. They're not sitting together, and they all kind of give each other looks throughout, and you figure that they can't stand each other. But then that's a very short chapter, just a very short snippet from the funeral. But then you go to chapter 2, which is 22 days before the funeral, and that's where you start to get into the meat of the story and how all of this plays out. And it is quite a roller coaster ride of what happens to Imogen and the other two throughout the story, and how they create kind of a very unlikely alliance and form a pretty strong bond in the end. But I'm going to go ahead and read the blurb on the inside cover, because sometimes that's much better than what I can do to recap. So, it said, he made their lives a living hell. 3 women will get their revenge in this gripping and darkly satisfying debut thriller. Imogen's marriage to Philip Rochester was never easy. He berated her, ignored her, and cheated on her. Now that they're getting a divorce, he's determined to make it as difficult as possible. When Philip demands that Imogen and their son move out of the house by the end of the month or he'll sue for sole custody, Imogen succumbs to a moment of madness and does the unthinkable. Now she's in control. But how far will she go to protect her son and punish her husband? She never expects that Philip's first wife and his new girlfriend will become involved, or that they both have their reasons to help her. What happens next will pit 3 very different women and unlikely allies against the man who has hurt them all, and who deserves a special kind of payback. So, it's actually a really fun read. I'm glad I picked this one up. I'm glad I didn't wait to go to a different store and see what else they had. This was kind of right up my alley. It moved along, you got into it right away, and it just carried through and made you want to know what was going to happen. It wrapped up in a pretty satisfying way, so that made me happy. There was good character development across the 3 women, and there were some side characters like Imogen's best friend Rachel, and of course the son, and Imogen's mother. But overall, really liked it. If you happen to stumble upon this in your dollar store, I'd highly recommend picking it up. It's well worth the buck. So that was my July Dollar Tree book, The Ex's Revenge by Joe Jakeman. And I may at some point look to see, in the back cover it said she was working on her 2nd book, and I would actually probably not hesitate to read her 2nd book if I found it somewhere. So that's that. I'm going to try and get my July wrap-up finished and get that up as soon as possible as well, because August is coming in a hurry. And so, and hopefully I can get back on track and actually get an author spotlight done. I am way backed up on book of the months. I haven't even actually ordered my August one yet because honestly nothing really appealed to me, so I'm going to go back through and reread all of the descriptions, but that'll put me 3 behind anyways. I did start Malibu Rising, but I didn't get through that yet, so I have to like really make an effort. But I did start the Jane Hawk series by Dean Koontz in July, and I am halfway through book 4, and after book 4 I have book 5 to get to. And I did take breaks in between some of them because while I absolutely love the series, I don't know how I haven't read it before. They are very, very heavy, and I have definitely needed a little break in between to just decompress. So I have to get through those. I have to get through Malibu Rising. I have to pick my other August book and get that headed this way. And hopefully I can get this back on track and do what I promised I would do for this vlog. But life happens. It's summer and it's been crazy. So that is it. I will see you next time.